What is Live Safe Academy? Who am I? Why did I start Live Safe Academy? That's what this show is about today. My name is Ian Kinder. I'm the owner and the founder of Live Safe Academy. If you feel our information is helpful, you can help us, help you, and other people too in two very simple ways. If you're watching our video, share our video with other people, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to our podcast, share our podcast with other people, subscribe to our podcast. Then go to the video description and click on livesafeacademy.com/connect, where you'll have access to all of our podcasts, our videos, our articles, our in-person classes in the Detroit, Michigan area, and our live virtual classes that you can participate in from anywhere in the world. Now, it dawned on me that in the past, most people learn about our school by attending one of our in-person classes, which means they would meet me in person, they'd have a chance to experience one of our classes firsthand, they'd really come away with a good understanding of who we are as a school. But now a lot of people are coming to us through our videos, our podcasts, our articles. They really don't know who we are as a school. They don't know who I am. They don't know the reason why I started Live Safe Academy in the first place. Live Safe Academy is a safety and self-defense school. We specialize in the training of first aid, assault and crime prevention, unarmed self-defense, chemical defense sprays, sharp weapons, impact weapons, tasers, and gun training, all the way from I never touched a gun to I want a Michigan concealed pistol license to far beyond what a concealed pistol license course would teach. So we have a very comprehensive approach to safety. We also have a very diverse staff. We've got law enforcement folks on our staff, military folks on our staff, registered nurses and attorneys on our staff. All of our instructors are certified through nationally recognized groups. And we work with everybody from law enforcement to military to corrections, with medical facilities, with school systems, everything from one-on-one private lessons in people's homes to large public classes. Very comprehensive approach to safety, very diverse staff. And we're used to working with a lot of different people who have a lot of different needs. And we've been around for a long time. We made our public debut all the way back in January of 1999, but that was after a 6-month training cycle with the 785th, the Military Police Battalion, where we certified all our combat lifesavers through the American Red Cross in first aid and CPR. So we've been around for a long time. And we currently teach out of 30 centers in the Detroit, Michigan area. And pre-pandemic, we would average anywhere from 5-10 classes a week, about 50 to 150 students a week would kind of be our normal. So that's a little bit about us as a school. Now, my background as a trainer goes back to 1990. I first became involved with law enforcement training back in 1990, originally through a group called Police Self-Defense Instructors International. Shortly thereafter, became involved with a group called the National Police Training Council. I've got 2 first-degree black belts, 1 second-degree black belt. I trained throughout the U.S. and Okinawa, Japan, and I'm a certified instructor in all aspects of personal safety, including, of course, all the different subjects that we cover in our school, that we teach in our school. I also spent many years providing armed protection to people who are in danger, either because they work in high crime areas or because they're being threatened. And then I spent many years working scenes for 2 medical examiners, including one which is one of the most active in the country, which unfortunately means being out the countless scenes where folks either shot to death, stabbed to death, beat to death, or choked to death. And that's a little bit about my formal background. My informal background, I normally don't talk about as much, but I was exposed to violence at a young age. I lived a violent lifestyle for a very long time. I was a ward of the state. I was in youth homes. And because of the violence that I experienced, because of the other bad things that I experienced, I really gained an appreciation for what hangs in a balance when we talk about safety. These are not just theoretical topics to me. I've experienced these things. I've witnessed these things. I worked with many people who are victims of violence, and I've been to many scenes where people have lost their lives to violence. So it really means a lot to me. It's very important to me that I do whatever I can to help people. Because when I was having to deal with these situations growing up, I didn't have any help. I just had to figure it out. I had to learn through experience. So my goal with Live Safe Academy is to help people so they'll know what to do when they're in the situations that I had to face, not knowing what to do. And when I started my very first martial arts program back in 1987, I was still in a youth home, and That school also trained law enforcement. And what I saw in law enforcement programs is they had a very practical approach to safety. They not only learned unarmed self defense skills, but they learned the use of modern weapons and a lot of other really important safety topics like first aid, like crime prevention, like awareness, like verbal skills. But I didn't see programs like that available to people in the public. But I knew through my experience, this was what people actually needed. I also saw in law enforcement training that programs were designed to teach information quickly so people can go into the field and use that information with very little training. Because the truth is, despite what the public thinks, law enforcement, they really don't get as much training as people think. And the amount of training they get varies a lot from departments, and some departments, depending on how they're set up, actually get very little training. So the training that officers have is designed to impart skills in them that they can use under real world conditions with very little training. Now, before I go any further, for those of you who are in the law enforcement training field, I know there's a lot of issues in that area too. But in concept, these were the things that I saw. And I realized everybody wants to be safe, but not everybody wants to be a martial artist. So my goal was to teach people skills that they can learn quickly, that they can apply under real conditions that would make a meaningful difference in their safety. And that's what all of our programs are about. What can I teach you right now that you can learn quickly, remember, apply under real conditions, things that have a proven track record of success that will give you the best possible chance of success under real conditions when safety hangs in the balance. Because again, with the things that I've been through, with the things that I've witnessed, the people that I've worked with the scenes that I've been to, it's very, very important for me to do everything I can to help people through situations that I didn't have help through. And we do that not only in our public service through videos, podcasts, and articles, but through our in-person classes and now our live virtual programs that, again, people can participate from anywhere in the world. And one of the good things that happened out of the shutdowns that took place back in March of 2020 was that we now had to make a decision. Do we just shut down, or do we find other ways to help people? And within 3 months of those shutdowns in March, we already had our first live virtual programs. And I was really excited about that. And my goal was to take those live virtual programs and to turn them into national programs and international programs. And we've already had students that have participated in our classes from all over the United States. And now we've had students that have participated from all over the world. And that makes me really happy because before, all of our information, we were only sharing those to people in our local area. But now we can help people all over the world. And what's nice about the virtual classes is, unlike just watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast or reading articles where the learning is passive, you're interacting with the instructor just like you were in a traditional in-person class. That means live question and answers. And for many of our classes, depending on what the subject is, there's guided physical practice. So you're physically practicing the skills under the supervision of the instructor and being able to interact with them and ask questions. Again, just like a traditional in-person class, but from anywhere in the world, from the convenience of your own home or workplace. And our school doesn't just teach public classes. I mentioned we do a lot of private classes too. So we would go into people's homes and we would work with their friends or their family, or we would go into people's workplace and we would train their staff, or we would go into their places of worship and we would work with people through their temples, through their churches, through their synagogues. And we can do that both in person, and now we can do that virtual too. So people come to us and they say, hey, I've got a group of people I want you to train. Can we set up a live virtual class just for my group? Absolutely. People will say, hey, I want to attend one of your public classes. When do you have public classes? Well, you go right out to our link. It's right in our video on our podcast show notes, and you will see on Eventbrite all of our live virtual classes that you can register in. And that's also on our Google Calendar, which you can get from our website. So my goal with Live Safe Academy is to help people through the worst possible situations so they don't have to experience those situations like I did. They'll have the benefit of knowing what to do. And we've had many, many people stay by our programs. And that's really what makes any instructor feel good, are the saves. And I'll just mention very briefly, I had one woman take one of our CPR programs, and she was able to save her son's life. He was 15-month old, and he was choking at a family party during the holidays. And she contacted me and she said, Ian, because of that class, I knew exactly what was going on. I knew exactly what to do. And she said, because of that class, my son is still alive today. I had one woman take one of our CPR first aid programs, and within 30 days of taking the class, she saved somebody's life in a Myers parking lot with CPR. These are only some of the many examples that we have. I had one student that got attacked at a gas station, and she contacted me afterwards and she goes, Ian, not only was I able to fight back and protect myself, but for the very first time in my life, I had the confidence to fight back. And again, these are only examples. We've had many, many people saved by our programs, and all the credit goes to the student, because they're the ones who were able to face those situations and overcome those situations. But I'm very glad that our programs were able to empower them with the information that they needed to be successful in those situations. And I want to help you guys too. So if there's any way that we can be of service, contact us and let us know. We'd love to have you in our in-person classes. We'd love to have you in our live virtual programs. We would love to hear your input on what you would like to have us talk about in our videos and our podcasts and our articles, because we want to be of service to you. And we'd love to know what you want to learn in the classes that we teach too. Guys, thank you very much for giving me this time today. Be safe. Have a great day. I hope to see you soon.